It's Monday night, January 31st, I guess. I'm still recovering from my bout with the Omicron variant. My fever's been gone for several days, but I still feel like I don't feel right yet. I kind of feel like I'm still a little bit out of sorts, and I'm sleeping 16 hours a day. And I feel like I could sleep longer, honestly, but that's fine. Bed rest and all that crap. I did a video a few months back about, maybe a few weeks back, maybe 25 years back, don't know, about practicing shots that I didn't feel like I should ever miss, but yet I still missed them. And I still think that's good practice. I think it's very good practice. I'm going to have a shot. I think the example I was using was, a shot like cross-side on this 9. If I'm going to treat this shot like I'm not going to miss it, in other words, I'm going to draw back for shape or whatever I'm going to do with it, then I should be as close to 100% as I can be on the shot, even though I'm not 100% on it. I think I am. I wish I was, whatever. A lot of shots like that, and I practiced those a lot getting ready for this tournament, during which I stunk up the place, but it wasn't because I practiced the wrong thing. It was just because sometimes that's the way it happens. Another kind of shot that needs to be practiced quite a bit, and it's more fun, is I need to practice shots that I will shoot almost every time, even if it's a bad idea. Even if it's not necessarily the right shot, even if there's a better shot, things like that. And I'm horrible at examples. But this one I knew, and I came up with this one. So I'm playing one pocket, and that's my pocket, and I need all three. Let's say we're just playing an even game, and my opponent needs all three as well, and that's his pocket. Or let's say there's a spot involved, and that's all my opponent needs is that ball. To me, it doesn't make any difference in this situation. I think if there's a spot involved and my opponent only needs that 13, I think I'm supposed to get that 13 away from his pocket. I think that's probably what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not a one-pocket expert. But what I will do is I will shoot this 14 down there, the bottom right in this case. Go here, here, and put the cue ball here. The speed happens to work out pretty well for that shot in my stroke and stuff. If I get the cue ball here, not only is it safe, I didn't sell out, but I've got a shot at the 10 and then a bank at the 13. Now, if the 13 wasn't here and all I needed was 2, then I've got a shot at the 10. If the 10 wasn't there and all I needed was 2, but I got the cue ball down here, then I've got a bank at the 13. So the important thing is get the speed right and make the 14. The making the 14 part is the reason why it may not be the right shot to shoot. Because if I miss that 14, it's not really any way of telling where it's going to end up. You may end up selling something out. But I don't care. Sometimes I'm an idiot. Some people say most of the time I'm an idiot. Oh yeah, shit. This is my Jacoby shirt. Jacoby is not a sponsor. This is one of my Jacoby cues, just a sneaky Pete. I have a couple of Jacoby cues. They've never really been my, like any of my main daily driver cues, but I did shoot with Jacoby Ultra shafts for several years on my shots. Once the Predator 314s, they weren't as good as they used to be. The Jacoby Ultra shafts were great for me. So, I played with them until I switched back to stock shafts. This is a Jacoby Q, but just with a stock Jacoby shaft, not one of the Ultras. Anyway, now that bullshit's out of the way, I found that I need a little bit of bottom right on this 14 to get the cue ball to take the path that it wants. If I just use straight bottom on the 14, A lot of times I'll come straight back and scratch. And that's not an ideal situation. Also, I could come straight across the table and hit here. And then the cue ball is dying up here. Again, not an ideal situation. This is a little bit of a reckless shot. But if I hit it right, it's not really, it's not as stupid as you might initially think. Let me just see if I can demonstrate by actually making the damn ball. Always easier said than done, right? So I did make the ball, but that's it. The speed works out pretty well for me on this shot with my stroke and all that on this table. Oh yeah, y'all have to forgive the background noise. It is 85,000 degrees below zero outside. My thermostat for my house is upstairs, which basically usually means there's almost nothing happens downstairs. Upstairs is nice and toasty. I cranked up the thermostat upstairs to get the heater to run down here. There's also a heater under the table. And eventually, about when it's time for me to go to bed tonight, the basement will be warm enough again. But it's not there yet. Now let's make this ball this time, just for kicks. That's not. Now you kind of see what the cue ball is doing. I'm not calibrating speed or anything, or going, oh gosh, gotta hit it hard or whatever. It just works out to like my speed, my firm speed on these kind of cuts. There we go. On these kind of cuts, put the cue ball down there. I'm in the right place, safe, and I've got a shot. And now I've got another shot. And yeah, win the game and all that. So I will shoot that shot. Like I said, probably way more often than I should. But what I do, I missed it twice and made it once, and it was safe every time. So it's not as bad as one might think. Another shot that I will shoot, and I don't feel like going and grabbing a whole bunch of balls up here. But this time, playing one pocket, and this is my pocket. And I'll shoot a shot like this a lot. I'll bank this 13 with a lot of top, a little bit of top right, to get the cue ball back down in here. I just will, because I like to bank, and there's one there. And if everything goes perfectly, then it's more or less safe. It's more or less a safe shot. So I'll do this, and that means this is one of the shots that I have to practice a lot. To come around, and then I've got a nice little smorgasbord of shots to shoot at. Not saying anybody watching this needs to get good at that shot or practice that shot, or anybody watching this needs to get good at practice that first shot I did. These are two shots that are just things that I will do because sometimes I just can't resist trying. And I would imagine an awful lot of pool players that are watching this will have a similar thing, that you have a shot, maybe you'll just notice, man, I keep trying that damn shot, but I can't make it. Well, if that's the case, and you still feel like you're going to keep trying it, then maybe you want to think about working on it a little bit. I know that's what I had to do, is work on the ones that I can't resist shooting. They're just there. I'm going to do a little bit of bonus content right now, just because I haven't done a video in a little while. And I don't know how long it's going to be before I do another one, maybe a week. So I'm not myself. I'm still in recovery mode. I'm still sick, in other words. But this is the kind of thing that happens every time I watch the good one pocket players play, and they'll do this. And I'll go, man, that was a really good idea, Dave. You should remember that. And then I'll see one of those guys do it again. And I'll say, man, that was really good. That was really smart. Dave, you should remember that. And this goes on and on. It's been going on for 10 years now, since I started playing one pocket. I don't seem to be able to remember these kind of things that I really should be able to remember. This is what I'm talking about. But playing one pocket, that's my pocket. Let's say in this case, my opponent just gave me ball in hand. That was nice of him. I got to 12. The things that I will do a lot is I'll set myself up too straight. Sure, I just gave myself an angle where I can drift down here, probably for the 8 or the 11, but I have to shoot the 12 hard to be able to get the cue ball to come down here. By shooting the 12 hard, if it misses, it's not going to stay in the area of my pocket, and you kind of want that a lot. So if I shoot this, if I had missed that ball, it would most likely rattle out and vacate the area. That's what I'm getting at. It doesn't have to be a ball in hand situation. It could be a situation where I shoot a ball, and then I come up here to play shape for the 12. And I play shape for something like this. Ideally, I want this 12 to be a harder shot, because there's going to be certain angles where I can shoot this 12 in at pocket speed, and the cue ball is going to have the proper speed to come over here and be safe or leave me another shot. This is the kind of thing that I see the top players do every now and then, and I think, oh, Dave, you should remember that. Even if I miss this 12, in one pocket, the next best thing, sometimes the best thing, is to hang it in front of your pocket. And the only way to give yourself a chance of making a 12, shoot it at pocket speed, and get your cue ball safe, a lot of times is to give yourself more of an angle. I'm saying to yourself, to give myself more of an angle than I might initially think. I don't seem to be capable of easily remembering this. I could even shoot this 12 straight in. I probably would shoot this 12 straight in and try to draw back here and up to here. Get the cue ball here. I would probably do this because I don't have an angle to do anything else with it. So I have to come up over here and do this. If I missed that 12, there's no telling where it would be right now. There's a lot of little things like that that can make a big giant difference. If I'm going to put the 12 in there, how does my speed feel? This is just kind of just a feel thing. It's an experience thing. Can I pocket speed this 12 and get this cue ball back over here? It looks to me like that's playing pretty darn good to be able to do that. Yeah, that wasn't that bad. Can I do the same thing? Back just up a little bit. From here? Probably not. I don't have as much of an angle. If I want to get the cue ball to come all the way back over here this time, I've got to shoot that 5 harder. Which means the 5 is not going to stay in my pocket. If I miss, it's not going to stay there. If I shoot this at pocket speed, that's what the 5 is going to do. That's not good any good. I'm sure it was good that I made the ball. It would have been a hell of a lot better to give myself this angle. Slightly harder shot, but an almost 100% chance of hanging the ball if I miss it, and an almost 100% chance of getting the cue ball over here. I say almost because I suck just like everybody else does sometimes, more so sometimes. And if I'm too straight and I need to get the cue ball over here, then I have to pound it. Well, not pound it, but I have to shoot hard. And if I haven't shoot it hard, if I had missed, ball bounced out almost too far, the 7 wouldn't be here. That's all I want to say about that. These aren't meant to be specific examples, and the first couple shots I did aren't meant to be specific examples. And the first part are just more like, hey, if you're going to shoot this shit, practice it. Maybe you should practice it. And the second stuff is just more about like a one-pocket way of thinking that I notice a lot with the really top players. I think they just do that kind of stuff instinctively. They'll have, I could go on and on and on and on. If this is somebody's pocket, a one-pocket player's pocket, and they're going to shoot this one and drift over here for shape at say 11, you got to shoot this pretty darn hard. The top players, though, they want to leave themselves this angle. They'll come in here. Then all they have to do is pocket speed to 1, and the cue ball is naturally, hey, I missed a shot. Is naturally going to go over there. It's just going to happen. I had to shoot that again. I didn't like that one. I didn't like that shot. Didn't feel right about it, and yet I shot it anyway. There. If I'd had to slam it and miss, don't tell me where that ball would be. That's just like a one pocket way of thinking that I'm always impressed with, and I'm always thinking that I should remember that. Dave, remember that. That was cool. That was, really clever and good thinking and all that. And then the next time I see it, I'll do the exact same thought process. The exact same thought process. Oh, you should remember that. That's it. I'm going to stop this, because now I think I ran over. Before it was short, now I think I ran over. So that's Monday night. Yep. Last day of January. It's almost February, which means it's almost March. And sometimes in March it starts getting warm around here. I'm very excited about that. Bye guys.